Good. So, yeah. So as I said, I'll share with you the document. You check the job portals, the search engines for jobs. You just go through this list of companies, see if anything there, and just make yourself familiar with the search. But I think what you should really do is get again in contact with me around October, November this year, and then I will sort of dedicate a student to you, and he or she will then be able to help you further. What I can also do, I mean, what you can also do is you can send me your resume. And what you need also for Germany, I'm not sure if you need this for the US always, is a letter. So it's like letter where you say, where you explain why you want to do the internship, why you want to do the internship in this company for this position, and what you basically bring to the table. It's sort of on top of your resume. Yes, yeah, 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 yeah. Good, good. I'm very also happy. So what I can do, I can send you, I think it's even from a Utah student, from a former Utah student who was in Germany for internship. I can send you his resume and his letter. So just that you see the style we have here. Um, and then also you can either yours is already fine, then you don't need to make any adjustments, but maybe you want to make some adjustments, and then you can also play it back to me and I will take a look at it before you send it out. Okay? Just that it's being checked. Yeah. Yeah. Now let me think what else comes to my mind. What else? Yeah, it's a bit of and also for my students, it's a very frustrating process applying for internships, right? You send out a lot of CVs. You sometimes you will not even get an answer. Sometimes they you can you get right away a reject. Sometimes they invite you for an interview, then it doesn't go further. It takes a lot of time, and it has a high frustration potential. Just that you're aware, right? Don't take it personally. It's for everybody the same. It's just the way it is, right? I know in the US they do a lot of this work for you because you're being placed, but here you have to do it yourself, and it's just a very frustrating process. But it's also a learning experience, and just stick with it and just muddle your way through. But just that you know, if you haven't heard anything for 2, 3 weeks, it's totally normal, right? A lot of my students say from half of the companies they're applying to, they never hear anything at all, right? Yes. Yes. Yeah. 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 What you can also do is normally in the intern in the offers of the companies, they will say when the starting point is. So you could already, if you wanted to, I mean, you can now also go on the job portals, just that you get an idea how much in advance they are. But normally now, if you look now on it, normally the open positions, the earliest ones would be now for October, November, right? So it's not much use in you can't start a search now. Uh, but if you start in October, November, you should be totally fine. But you could also look into it a bit earlier. Sometimes companies really, they sometimes have interns every 4 months, for example. So one starts in 1st of January, the next one starts 1st of May, and the next starts, I don't know, 1st of October. And if they do know that, they very often have their searches out earlier, right? Because they want an overlap between the interns, that they can help each other and do sort of train them on the job. So that might be the case. Then they're already in there earlier. Sometimes you also have internships advertised which start in 2 weeks because the company sees that they need somebody short notice, and then they would just post it online. So some is also very quick. It depends, but normally they are not earlier than 6 months. Okay, good. Anything else? You would need to look for housing. Okay. They basically you would get a contract and they would give you a salary. The salaries depend. They vary very much. I mean, it's difficult to give you a ballpark figure. I would say the majority of the internships are 9,000 to 1,200 a month, right? This is, I would say, where the majority is in terms of salary. You have some, like I have some marketing students who work for advertising agencies, small advertising agencies or startup companies. They sometimes only pay 400, $500 euros, which is very difficult to live on that salary, right? Because your rent would normally be around 400, 500, depending on which city you are in. If you're in Munich, your rent would probably be rather 600, 700. If you're in Pforzheim, your rent would rather be probably 300 to 400. It depends very much on the city. But we also have some internships. We sometimes, for example, the big accounting firms like PwC, KPMG, they very often they also pay 1,800, 2,000 euros for an internship. The consulting companies would also pay more. So it really depends, but I think roughly you would have a salary of 1,000. With this salary, you would basically cover all your expenses and you would also have to cover the flight. Yeah. Yeah, you would. Yeah. Because your curriculum in Utah does not require an internship. And that's why they consider you a voluntary intern. You don't have to do it as part of your studies, but you just want to do it. And this gives you a different category in terms of labor law because voluntary internships need to be paid minimum wage. Mandatory interns do not have to be paid minimum wage. Okay. So it makes it slightly more unattractive for the company to hire a voluntary intern. No, no, you are never mandatory because Utah doesn't require an internship. Okay. You would be a mandatory intern in Germany because Pforzheim University has a study program which requires a 6-month internship as part of your curriculum, but Utah doesn't. Yeah. Yeah. But this is just a formality. But just be prepared for this question because they will ask you that question. Will you do it? Will you want to do you need to do a mandatory internship or not? Yeah. Good. Perfect. Then I will share with you this document I was talking about, right? And I will also share with you this sample CV and the sample letter. Yeah, that is in that document. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, perfect. And then, yes, as we said, get with me in contact somewhere in fall, and then I can put you in contact with a student. And if there's anything else before, any questions you have, then just let me know. Okay? Okay. Good. Perfect. Ramon, thank you. Bye-bye.